Alright, so here's an update on the Heliamphora terrarium. We sort of upgraded the size of it from the last video, I think. We've got a heterodoxa flower here. I didn't cross-pollinate, obviously, because I don't have any other Heliamphoras flowering. I didn't really self-pollinate either, so I just kind of left it because, you know, it looks nice, it looks interesting. Plus I fertilized it, so it should be fine. As you can see, some of them are doing well. We've got a big increase in pitcher size on this Heliamphora folliculata. It's making a new one. This one also, you know, it did flower, but it's still growing pretty well. So we have a new pitcher there, and we're getting a smaller division forming on the side there. The Sarracenoides had a nice large jump in pitcher size. So it made its first adult pitcher, as you can see down there, and then it started making a juvenile one again, and now we're back to the adult pitchers, so hopefully it keeps growing larger. Although this was produced maybe about a month and a half to 2 months ago, and we haven't had any growth since then. And I fertilized it, so kind of strange that hasn't been any more growth, but you know, I think it might be just this overall terrarium setup. There's a Heliamphora minor. We split that up, so they are doing kind of crappy right now because we had a lot of dieback after I basically bare rooted it and then repotted it, although we're getting a lot of new growth coming back, so it's just kind of, I don't know, I guess I could have repotted it more delicately, but I sort of didn't care enough to do that because, well, they're growing back anyways, so whatever. We have a prolifera here. I want to get that into its own terrarium soon. The other sundews, the Hamiltoni and the Admirabilis, are doing well. Some of these are still, you know, juvenile pitchers, growing kind of crappy. I would assume that's from the suboptimal setup that I have. Basically, what happened is the first problem I'm having with this is that the ultrasonic foggers aren't working as well as I think they should be. As you can see, that blue one on the left side is producing a decent amount of fog, while the one on the right, it's just kind of shooting water up, but not really creating as much humidity. So what I noticed is that I bought a 3-pack of those, and 2 of them have already started crapping out, and we just have that one left that's somewhat decent. And it's only been 6 months, so I feel like they should last a little longer than that. So I might have to upgrade that. If anybody knows a good source for ultrasonic foggers, please let me know. Another issue, I guess, is with the water basin. I mean, not only is this kind of ghetto to have this kind of floating around every time I want to take off the lid, but water also gets into the bottom there if it, you know, sinks, you know, too much or something like that. Biggest problem with the water basin is that it doesn't stay sterile. So I've put, you know, plastic wrap on the bottom here and like a lid so that the soil doesn't drain into there and grow a lot of algae. But no doubt the algae will grow anyways. And that sometimes gunks up the foggers. That might be contributing to their breakdown. But then overall, I've just sort of started not liking this setup because, you know, you can't put stuff towards the edge because it might fall in. And then once I had to start plastic wrapping all of this, the fog can only rise up sort of through this small area and then kind of in the crack there. It can't really lift up through the entire base of this how I originally planned it. So, you know, overall, I guess we have a setup that's good enough to keep these alive. Some of them are growing pretty well. The other half, they're kind of crap. So what I think I'm going to do is do a dramatic redesign of this terrarium. And unfortunately, that is going to mean increasing this. I might even have to buy a container that's twice as long as this, so any hopes of conserving the space, that, you know, kind of goes out the window. And then it might have like a separate fog basin with a brand new ultrasonic fogger, possibly a stronger one, and then we're gonna kind of have to optimize the fan setup, where we might just have an internal computer fan blowing the fog around inside, maybe have some small openings on the top for the heat to escape. Or we might just switch to completely LED lights so that they don't produce heat. I don't know. We'll have to see. So this is where we're at right now. Next time I make a video, it's probably going to be a completely different terrarium. So I guess that's kind of the last video of this setup. It was nice while it lasted, but it's sort of, it hasn't really performed as well as I wanted it to. So in the near future, we're going to do a redesign of this, come back, and hopefully have a better setup.